How's it going, guys? OverBidden here. So this is a fourth game of a 4-game series that features me climbing from 4.6k MMR to 4.8k MMR. In this video, I will be watching the gameplay footage of me playing this game with you together. I will be commentating my game, and I will try to explain the reasons behind the plays that I made. Okay, let me know what you think about the video, and let's get the game started. So this is a mirror matchup. Always blacklist first light. Looks like I do have a lot of golds in hand as well, which is always good. Elastirate is not so great in the mirror matchup, so most likely I will kick the Elastirate. Drew the Isengrim as well, 4 golds in hand, right? That's really awesome. If I have too many silvers in hand, I will kick a silver, but looks like I will have 1 Horsen in the deck. Okay, which is pretty good. I will have a standard way of pulling out the Roach, and then my lead ability is not that lead ability. Okay, he plays Melva, I will play the Melva as well, so that he doesn't have the card advantage. It's just that he goes first, right? Pretty lucky for me as well, right? The second play is that he went for Isengrim. Most likely I will went for Isengrim as well, because there's really not much variation that can be done here, so we both play really fast. And then he played Roach. I think this is not the most ideal play, because you don't really have to play Roach this early into the game, especially if you have a Dragon. You can just use your Dragon to buff up a unit, right? That play is always happening, right? Maybe down in the later in the round, you need the Roach to slow down the tempo, or just to win the round by like 3 strengths, right? So I go for that play. And plus, if your opponent has Horsen in hand, he can just play Horsen and banish your Roach. So that's I wouldn't play like that. Okay. So after the Roach, my opponent went for Mercenary plus a Dragon, which is pretty good, right? He thinned the deck twice and he buffed up the unit once. Okay, and then I'm 10 behind. Looks like I will play the Horsen, because I want to play my Yenvin pretty soon, right? And then with only 1 silver card in the deck, I don't want my Yenvin to pull out the silver card. Okay, so I went with the Horsen, banish his Roach, and then next turn I can draw a card. I have all the gold cards and the silver cards already. I don't necessarily need to like draw something amazing, but rather to give me more options, and then to block his Roach, a Scorch as well, right? And then looks like he went for the same play as well. He wanted more options, so he played his Yenvin. I know that he has 2 more silvers in his deck. He played 2. One is his Roach, one is his Yenvin, which means he has 2 silvers in hand, 2 silvers in the deck, right? He also saw me that I don't have any more silvers in the deck, which means I have all the silvers in my hand. Okay, that's the information that we gathered so far. I played my Yenvin just so that I block his Scorch. Right, now it's a pretty dicey situation now, right? We are really close in terms of strengths, and then looks like I will play... Looking at my hand, I think I will play Dragoon, right? Because there's really not another clear play, and Dragoon is always happening. And then if I play Dragoon, I shouldn't buff up the Bren anymore, right? I should buff up another unit, because with potentially opponent has Scorch in hand, I shouldn't buff up a single target too high and just to get Scorch away. Plus I do need the maybe 4 extra strengths to win this round. Okay, and then I chose to buff up the Mercenary instead of the King of Beggars or the Roach, because if I buff up the King of Beggars or the Roach, they will be 7 strengths, and then they will be at the same strengths with Horsen, so that's no good. Mercenary is definitely the correct target to buff. So he played Saskia, which is a pretty early Saskia, right? You should be able to like put more units on the board, but this early Saskia, it's not going to achieve too much, right? Because he knows that I have all the silvers in hand, which means he knows that I will be able to scorch away his 15 strength Yemen, right? After 15 strength Yemen, I should be able to catch up easily just by casting one more card, right? And since he goes second, since he goes first, I go second. I'm okay to just down one card and win the round, right? Yeah. That's a pretty standard play. He did have Scorching Hand, so he scorched my Yemen away as well. Okay, I am 17, 18 behind. 18 behind, I can... If I do the math right now, how many strengths is I can gain by playing a Saskia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. So if I play Saskia, the strength is going to be even out. But I don't think I should play Saskia right now because, as I said, it's okay to just go down one card to win the round, right? And then Saskia will have more strength when I have more units on the board, right? So I will just put more units on the board by playing most likely King of Beggars, because King of Beggars is going to pull out 33% Blue Mountain Commandos or 66% Elven Mercenaries, right? If I pull out Blue Mountain Commandos, I can refresh the strengths of my 3 strengths Dragoon, or I can play I can pull out the Mercenary and then play another special card to further thin the deck, and then summon another Commando, right? Which is a pretty good play, right? Even I didn't draw the rally, I drew Lacerate or Thunder. It's okay as well, right? Okay, looks like opponent find a pretty good chance to play Lacerate when I have the most unit in the range row. Okay, so he casts Lacerate and he create a huge strength difference. Okay, and again, I mean, I'm not in a hurry to play Saskia because I know when I play Saskia, I should be able to catch up in strength, and before that, I should just put more units on the board. And looks like I made a mistake here, right? I banished the Commando, but instead I should banish, like, do damage to another unit that is not gonna be killed, right? The reason is that let's say if I damage this Commando instead of this one, right? So later my Saskia can damage both units. Instead, right now my Saskia can only damage one, right? So the total damage is gonna be 3 plus 1 right now, right? And if I damage that one, it's gonna be 3 plus 2, because my Saskia will be able to damage 2 units, right? So I made a mistake of 1 strength. Hopefully it didn't cost me the game later, right? So he has Aromancy in hand, also in his deck. I mean, in his composition of the deck, which is quite interesting, right? And then casting Frost in the first row is definitely correct. It denies my buffed up Elven Mercenary, right? So I am what? I am 12 behind. 12 behind. Let me calculate the strengths of Saskia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 plus 7 is 23. 23, 12 behind. So 23 minus 12 is 11. So after playing Saskia, I will be 11 strengths ahead, looks like. And then is there any spells that I can recast? No, right? I mean, I guess I can recast the Scorch, but that's gonna burn my Horsen as well. So the Scorch is only 6 strengths. So looks like it's time to play Saskia. Double tracking again. Rally, it's not that great, right? After casting Rally, I would not... very likely I will not be able to... I mean, there's the chance that I will not be able to catch up in strength. So I want to have a decent lead right now. And since we both are only having like 2 cards in hand, okay? So what my opponent needs to do right now is just to catch up in strength, right? Because if he does not catch up in strength, I will just pass and get a 2-card advantage. Okay? So let's see what he plays. He needs to overcome the 11 strength difference, right? And he has a unit that has been buffed up 3 times because he played 2 Dragons, and then he also played his Blue Mountain Commandos to bounce back the Dragon once, right? So there's a unit that's been buffed up by 12. Okay, so he chose to recast one of his spells, and then he spells the first row, which shouldn't be correct. He lacerated the first row, which is not the correct play, I think, because this is 8 strength he lacerate, right? But if he lacerate this row, it's gonna be 3 plus 3 plus 2. That is gonna be 8 strength as well. But if you lacerate the first row, you kill my roach, and then I may be able to recast roach later because you only saw me play 3 goats, right? So that's a misplay of him. Okay, and that's potentially like 3 strengths misplay because resummoning the roach, right? And obviously he got punished. His commando just jumped into the frost, right? Get punished. Just looks like only 3 strengths behind, so just rally into anything will put me ahead. He has to play his buff up the unit in order to win this round. Okay, and the unit has been buffed up 3 times, so he will be able to catch up. Unless he buff up a Elven Mercenary. Okay, which is not very likely. Okay, so at this point, he can just do the math and see how much strength that he can be ahead after playing his buff up unit. And he also knows that I have a unit that has been buffed up twice, right? Because he saw me play 3 Dragons, and then I play 1 buff up unit of my Elven Mercenary. Okay. So he chose to play his buffed up unit. I think this is potentially a mistake because he knows that, well, he knew the math, right? That he was only going to be 4 strengths ahead, and he knew the unit that in my hand, no matter what the unit is, unless it's an Elven Mercenary, right, it's going to have plus 8 strengths, right? So I will be able to play my buff up unit in order to win the round, right? So he knows that I'm gonna win the round. There's no way that he's gonna win the round. So maybe it's better for him to just save his buff up unit and let me keep my buff up unit as well, and just to maybe let me go first in the second round and play from there. I don't know. Instead of playing a top deck game later. It's a variation. It's not a 100% win or right or wrong, but I think he could make the. You can make the argument for both plays. Okay. So I play my broccoli and win the first round pretty good. I drew my thunder. I drew my mercenary. Looks like I would not be able to play the mercenary, right? Because if I pull rally into an archer or a blue mountain commando is bad. If I pull elacerate, I'm gonna elacerate myself, which is bad, right? So I just pass and let him play a card and take the 1 card advantage. It looks like he will fit it. Okay, pretty bloody game. Although we only play 1 round, but it's there are plenty of interactions, right? And after this game, I got finally got 4.8k MMR. And then in terms of the leaderboard position, I think I reached okay, globally 158 and then North America number 14, right? There's still plenty of people that are ahead of me, but this is a personal achievement. Okay, pretty good. So that's gonna be it for this video. Okay, again, please let me know what you think about my commentary. Is it too fast? Not fast enough? Too much detail? Not enough detail? Right? Just let me know. I may make more videos like this in the future. Okay? Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.